Thank you very much. I think one of the things I was just seeing up here is that in Ethiopian Airlines, you have a way of smiling. It's where the smile is at home. And so if you're at home in Ethiopia and you feel at home at the Ethiopian Airlines office building and this event, can you touch your neighbor and say, give me a smile? Yeah, that's good. Very good to see you. You know, it's so good for me to be back here in Addis Ababa. And this morning I had an excellent discussion and meeting with my dear brother, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. And when we were talking about the meeting, I think Prime Minister Chide was saying, well, I think probably the meeting would be about 15 minutes or so. But I didn't say anything because once I'm with my brother, we're in a different zone. So the meeting ended up with more than an hour. And so it's always a delight to be here to see the Prime Minister. And so thank you very much for having us here today. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister of Finance and the Governor of the African Development Bank, my dear brother, Ahmed Chide, and thank you for the excellent comments that you gave and for your warm welcome and also for all the incredible work that you have done in supporting me as President of the African Development Bank, but all of my staff. So thank you very much, Honorable Minister. My dear Assistant Honorable Minister of Semerita, Sewasiu, the State Minister of Finance, it's nice to see you. Honorable Ministers and senior officials of the government of Ethiopia, the Honorable Minister of Finance from Malawi, Simplex Banda, thank you very much and thank you for your warm comments. And all the ambassador of South Sudan, and of course the representatives of the various countries that are here representing the governments of Togo, the government of DRC, and of course Zambia. And of course the chairman of the boards of directors of the Ethiopian Airlines Group, His Excellency Lieutenant General Yilma Medasa. You know, I need to tell you before I proceed that one of the last times that I was here, Prime Minister Abiy asked me to actually fly to go see the airlines, I mean the military base, and I was with the General Yilma Medasa. And when I got over there, we were in one of the hangars, and I saw this aircraft. It was about almost $184 million to do it. And they had another one in the hangar, which was going to be reverse engineered. And he said me that this will be about $14 million. And such is the power of the capacity of Ethiopians to do great things. And I was amazed to see that. And I just want to say it was a great opportunity to see him today. And you have a great chairman over the Ethiopian Airlines Group. To the rest of the staff, the Chief Executive Officer of Ethiopian Airlines Group, Mr. Mesfin Tasu Bekele, is not here today, but please give him my warm greetings. I really miss seeing him today. Last time I saw him was in Abidjan. The Chief Commercial Officer, Group Commercial Officer, and the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of Ethiopian Airlines Group, Mr. Lema Yadecha, thank you for all the warm hospitality you've given us. You've taken us all around Ethiopian Airlines facilities today. Thank you so very much. And of course, you are surrounded by an incredible group, talented group of experienced professionals that have been running this institution. So let me recognize the group CFO. Of course, we had to do money matters, and so Mr. Adamu Tadele. Are you from Nigeria? That is, Tadele seems to like from my Yoruba tribe. It's the Vice President of the Ethiopian Airlines Group, the Vice President for Strategy, Daniel Abebe, the Vice President for Legal Affairs, Mr. Abebe Emirs, the management and staff of this incredible organization, Ethiopian Airlines Group, and from my own team. I came with a large team. I have vice presidents that are here, Vice President Nena Nwabufo, Vice President for Regional Integration and Business Development here, the Vice President Solomon Kweyo, private sector, that is here. The Director of Transport, we can't really do anything without this guy. Mike Salau, who is here with the rest of his team. And we also have the Country Manager and the Deputy Director General for Eastern Africa, who just got promoted to become the Director General for Central Africa, Mr. Lian Basole. And of course, Jide Oyewusi, who is the country manager designate of Ethiopia and Deputy Director General. And we have our legal team here, represented by, where is Yemisi? Over there. Thank you for all the hard work that you do. All the staff of the bank, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am delighted to be back in Addis Ababa, a city that is witnessing incredible transformation under the visionary leadership of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. If the transformation is happening in years, I can understand. But it is happening every single hour, every single day, every single week, at scale. Speed and scale are now the hallmarks of Ethiopia. And scale is what we are witnessing and signing on today. The start of the pathway for the construction of the mega Bishoftu International Airport. It is indeed a great testament to the power of vision, of determination, and of resolve to put Africa at the top. Ethiopian Airlines has put Africa at the top in global aviation, and I think you should clap for them. I wrote these remarks flying on the Ethiopian airline flight from Abidjan to Addis Ababa. But I also fly it all around the world. You fly to 130 destinations. You fly across 5 continents. Ethiopian Airlines is there in the sky, making us proud. With 75 years of operational history, Ethiopian Airlines is Africa's oldest and best airline. In fact, when I walked to the office today, I realized that you actually started in 1945. And during that period, up to 1971, it was actually run by Americans. Until you have the first Ethiopian person who you recruited from the Air Force of Ethiopia to be your first group CEO. And it's amazing what has happened since that particular time. So I want to say that you have a rich history, a proud history of excellence and of performance. Ethiopian Airlines today is critical for regional and economic integration of our continent, connecting capitals, peoples, and markets with its globally rated cargo facilities. Now, this was particularly remarkable during COVID-19 pandemic. When many global airlines stopped flying, Ethiopian Airlines was in the air. It innovated by turning passenger cabins in its fleets to cargo facilities, moving goods, vaccines, medicines, and equipment all across the world. Ethiopian Airlines have won so many awards. I was happy to go into one of your awards room. They just have won every single thing. But the one that caught my attention was what you call this Skytrax Best Airline in Africa Award for 7 consecutive years. Now, if you win thing once, second, you can say, well, so can I have 7 claps for these guys? 7 claps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so you keep making it up, maybe you get 100. I'd like to applaud the CEO of Ethiopian Airlines, Mr. Mesfin Bekele, who is doing an outstanding job, and the rest of your team, the board of directors, the management and staff of the airline, for your incredible top-notch performance and for making Africa so proud. I understand that Mr. Mesfin Bekele had wanted actually to retire twice, and twice he was encouraged to continue, stay on a little longer. And for me, that's not surprising. For as the saying goes, the price of great work is more work. And understand that he will be retiring in another year, but you already have a clear succession plan. There will be no surprises. That is the mark of an excellent and great institution. And when I was speaking with the group chief commercial officer, Mr. Lema, we were just talking, and he told me about your visit to see the first Ethiopian group CEO in 1971. He's still alive. And he told me about how they will meet and how they will record things and how they will talk to them. You know, if you want to know how good an institution is, look at how it transitions leadership. And I think you are not only stable in the air, you're actually stable as an organization. And I want to highly commend you for that. I'd like to commend the boards of directors, the management and staff of Ethiopian Airlines for running such a profitable company. With $7.2 billion in revenues in 2024, an increase of 14% from 2023. I also learned that you increased your passenger numbers by 24% to 19 million passengers, and we saw the numbers, projections you are going to have. What a performance, congratulations. The African Development Bank is extremely proud to partner with Ethiopia in its vision to expand the operational and the fleet capacity of the Ethiopian Airlines. That's why in 2016, a year after my election as president of the African Development Bank, the bank provided $160 million as a corporate loan to Ethiopian Airlines for its expansion and fleet acquisition. I was particularly delighted on one of my trips when, as I entered the airport, we were going to go from here to Abidjan, and there was a smaller aircraft that was actually going to take us. And all of a sudden comes out Mr. Mesfin, this group CEO, coming with a bouquet of flowers. And you remember that. And there was a bouquet of flowers, and he said, well, Mr. President, we're going to fly you back to Abidjan on one of the Airbuses that your money allowed us to buy. And so you can imagine, and one of my staff who is here today, where is my photographer, Roland? I thought I saw him. Where is he? All right, okay. So I saw Roland, he was sitting on the right-hand side of this aircraft, and he was enjoying, is it not true? Absolutely correct. So we had such a wonderful time doing that, and what a partnership, and thanks for making Roland so happy also. From then, you never look back. You, today, will be acquiring an additional 114 aircrafts, and that will build your fleet capacity to 240 aircraft. Just imagine 240 aircrafts, all of them with ET on it, and all of them with the new spirit of Africa, making Africa proud everywhere, in every airport across the world. To stay dominant, the government of Ethiopia is also expanding its airport facilities, especially for international flights. The Bole International Airport, which you have, has a capacity of 25 million passengers. You've already reached 19 million, and so you're almost close to doing that. And as your prime minister is, and as the government is, they decided to look again forward. Let's think big. That's one thing I like about Ethiopia, thinking big and doing big things. And those big things is what led you to now have the new Bishoftu International Airport, a mega airport. And this airport will be a game changer for transport in Africa, but not just in Africa. It will be a game changer for transport globally. The phase one, as we have heard, will do 60 million passengers, and that will grow to 110 million passengers in phase two. Now, I know you said that that is the largest in Africa. I'd like you to go and actually check. It will be one of the largest in the world, period. Much larger than a country that a lot of people actually go. They have 90 million passengers per year. You will have 110 million right here out of Ethiopia. Ethiopia is on the global map, and Ethiopia is put Africa also on the global aviation map. The Bishoftu Mega Airport will enable Ethiopian Airlines to also, I understand, reduce its emissions by 15%. It will also accommodate 3.7 million tons of cargo and parking spaces for 270 aircrafts. Big things require big money. And this particular program or project will cost $10 billion US. And I want to say that the African Development Bank, Honorable Minister, and also Group Commercial Officer, Deputy CEO, we are actually very delighted to have been selected as the mandated lead arranger, the global coordinator and book runner to mobilize $8 billion of debt financing for the construction of this airport, including $500 million also of debt from the African Development Bank. And you can understand why. The African Development Bank is the largest financier of infrastructure on the continent. In the last 10 years that I've been president of the African Development Bank, the bank has provided well over $55 billion in terms of financing for infrastructure. And so we will be there, and we will be there to support Ethiopia to achieve this dream. Let me say a few thank yous. I wish to highly commend the Honorable Minister of Finance, my brother Ahmed Shide, for his strong leadership, for believing in the African Development Bank, and for working so closely with my staff to make this day a reality. You are with me in Abidjan on March 24, 2025, along with the CEO of the airline, together with us when we signed the letter of intent with my Vice President, Nana Wabufo. I am proud that the team of the bank moved speedily to come to the ground to look at how to develop the project, visit the sites of the project. And Mike Salawu led a team here, I think from the 5th to the 9th of May, 2025. And they wrote back, and I read everything anyway anybody writes. If you don't want me to read anything, never write it down. I read all the time. And I was impressed that they were impressed with the amount of work that you have done ahead on this project. And so we are therefore delighted today to have been here to sign with you the mandate letter for the $8 billion for mobilizing for this project. Now, for anybody that knows about projects, the biggest concern, because you take about 3,970 something hectares, it's about 4,000 hectares, you have to move people. They call those project affected persons. But I must really tell you, Minister of Finance, and also the Group Deputy CEO, this is the first time that I've actually seen a country take a proactive step in relocating people on projects well ahead of time. I've not seen that anywhere. I thought you'd clap for that. You have 2,800 families that are households that are affected. You already moved them. And I was just watching as you were making that presentation. All those people with villas. You're relocated from maybe a mud house to a villa. You have agro-processing centers. You have $350 million that you have put there for economic activity in that area. I mean, what else could be better? In fact, instead of having a project-affected person, I think these are project-supported people. In fact, if I was one of them, I would be happy to have this kind of projects so that I can be moved and then I can have a bigger house and I can have every single thing. Congratulations for doing that. That's a sense of accountability, transparency, and also doing things the right way. And that helps us a lot when this comes to our board, because this means that you have actually gone ahead and done many of these things yourself. I would like to assure you that the African Development Bank will deliver. We always deliver. We pride ourselves in that, and we'll deliver on this particular project. Now, it's my last visit, official visit to Ethiopia as president of the African Development Bank. So let me say a few words about Ethiopia and why I love this country and why I have so much confidence that this country will continue to inspire us. This country is where the seat of the African Union is. And it used to be many years ago, many years ago, that people used to actually literally complain that the city wasn't looking up to par with the fact that it was hosting an institution like that. But today, looking everywhere in this city, this is a city that Africa is very proud of. And I remember when I came with my friend, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, we went to many areas, they were all slums, and he told me, he said, well, Akin, By the time you're back, this will be done, that will be done. And every time that I come here, everything moves at incredible speed. I look at the work we've done together on agriculture. The African Development Bank provided Ethiopia with seeds for heat-tolerant wheat varieties that you planted in your lowlands. You started with 5,000 hectares of those. Just to give you a sense, because we are talking about airlines today, African Development Bank provided 65,000 metric tons, tons of seed, together with your research station. Now, your Airbus 380 is about what, 98.4 or so tons? So you can just imagine the scale of amount of seeds that we're talking about here. You're probably talking about almost 665 Airbus 380 aircraft lying on a landing strip. That's the scale that we're talking about. Ethiopia moved from 5,000 hectares to 650,000 hectares. It went to 2.2 million hectares. Today, Ethiopia declared itself as self-sufficient in wheat in just 4 years. Think about that. Amazing. Congratulations. The African Development Bank is proud of its investment, together with you, to do major transformative infrastructure, linking Ethiopia all the way to, Addis to Mombasa, Mombasa to Nairobi. That will expand trade between your two countries by more than 400%. We have infrastructure linking Djibouti, linking us to South Sudan, up to here, again, supported by the African Development Bank. We supported a lot of work here on power infrastructure, regional connectivity, that allows you to make today more than $900, almost $100 million a year in terms of export of energy in this country. And I couldn't have done that, we couldn't have done that without a visionary government, without a dynamic government and a very supportive Minister of Finance. But also I wouldn't have been able to do it because you see me talking on stage, but I have incredible staff. And the work they do make us shine. So if you permit me, I would like all my staff from the African Development Bank that are here today with me to please stand. Thank you. These are the guys that make the things happen, and as I leave, as I miss Africa, I always say the people that we miss the most are these folks. These are the guys that make the things happen. They're the best assets that the African Development Bank has. Thank you very much, everybody, for what you do. Let me use the opportunity as well to thank all the senior vice president of the bank, the vice presidents, the directors, the managers, the project managers, the task managers, the legal folks, and I see a lot of work with the data lead arranger. I read all the documents. It's a lot of legal work, working with Mr. Abebe here. Well done to all of you. But we also have somebody I want to recognize before I leave. I would like Leanne to stand. Honorable Minister, I sent Leanne Basula here, and I must say, in a very short time that he's been here, he's worked very well with the rest of the bank, worked very well with you and all the partners to make this happen. He's now going to be moving to Cameroon as the Director General for Central Africa. I think he has done an incredible job with the rest of the team at the country office here. So, and I'm confident that he will continue to excel there. Thank you very much, Leanne, for your work. And just like you, when you do your transition, we are transitioning right now. And my successor is Sidi Uta. He's a good friend of mine. And that transition is smooth, it's smooth, seamless, and it tells you the kind of institution that we have as an African Development Bank. But even here, we are trying to do exactly that. Jide, can you stand? Jide Oyewusi, who is now the designate country manager and deputy director general for the Eastern Africa region. Jide is an experienced commercial banker, and he will bring a lot of that to make sure that these deals are closed and the commercial transactions work. Mr. Minister of Finance, this is the transition that we have here, and thank you for your support. As I close, you know me as president of the African Development Bank. But you must know me now as a pilot. Because before coming here today, I was taken in to go and do the lessons at the flight simulator. I flew all the way from Dubai to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, and Julius Nyerere Airport. I landed the aircraft very, very nicely. Everybody is safe. So please, as I retire, I will come back and join the Ethiopian Airlines as your honorary pilot. And those who want to fly that plane with me, buy your tickets now because they're on sale. What a great day is this. A great day to be with you. It's a family. It's a wonderful day. I will miss Ethiopia. My heart is always here. I will always have Ethiopia on my side. And my heart will always be there to do all I can to support and strengthen the development of this wonderful country. Thank you very much. And thank you very much for the confidence in the African Development Bank. God bless.